maybe this will work to get some more views. And I need to clean the housing for the laser as well. But I'm going to start here and make sure that this works, and then I'll go on to the bigger stuff. But that's a nice way to kind of wrap up the week and let these soak for a little bit and see what happens. Yeah, that is evidence that this was actually long overdue already. Wow. Good Monday morning. It's a new week with new things on what I can no longer honestly call my to-do list. It's my should get done, but something else will probably come up and I'll have to do that list. This is looking pretty bad. Oh, I did not bring the laptop downstairs yet because I knew I'd be immediately tempted to just start burning stuff, but I've got to finish cleaning this before I do anything else. And I've got an 8 o'clock appointment, so just have about a little over an hour that I can work on this, and then maybe get another little bowl of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, to clean the housing for the laser itself. And at some point I really need to check the belts. Let's see if I can get a shot here. They're a little bit shiny, and honestly though, I don't know, maybe somebody out there does. I have a feeling that isopropyl alcohol might kind of dry these belts out, so I hesitate to start doing too much with them. Maybe somebody knows better. I'm going to do some internet searching, but comments would be appreciated for sure on that. I got another set of rubber feet and a wall hanger on a family name sign that I may get to deliver today, and I need to make some business cards. I made all those and I can't find the stack. I've got some fairly thin stuff here that I ran through the planer some time ago. This bottom piece especially. I think I can get 2 up side by side on that, and should have a good supply, and those won't be too bulky to hand to people. These others will be a bit of an experiment. So got to get that thing a little more clean than it is right now, though. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Okay, let's see. I'm hoping that these things haven't just begun to rust, but it kind of looks like they have. That's what I was concerned about with the alcohol. I'll wipe that off again. See if any of the rest of that comes off. Did not realize at first how much budget I would have for cleaning supplies, and that was just a little bit of more naivete on my part, because obviously this stuff is gets very cruddy. Okay. Now, that actually looks really promising. Let's see what it looks like when it dries out. It may just be hiding this stuff. Now that side is still got stuff on it. Okay. There's a test sample. Let's compare it to another one that, oh yeah, it's still gunked up enough that they stick together. That side came out real nice and clean. This side has got a film of some kind on it. Maybe it's not rust. doesn't look like it's staying on as rust. Let's see. Yes, this is bad. I got a little bit of alcohol on my gloves still. That is super cruddy, and I can't claim that it's legit to use salvage pallet wood lumber as a material in laser cutters. I'm basically treating this thing like a demolition derby vehicle in a way. It's fascinating though, and I do like some of the results, so I think it's worth the chance. But it's very, very dirty. I really need to clean out the fan as well, I'm sure. Yes, this is super cruddy, and I really have to spend time cleaning this. I got to take the case off to get to the fan, and then also the fan in the back I'm sure is getting stuff as well. Here's the wild thing. This lens I've had to clean a few times, and I've cleaned this completely more than once, and this is the buildup of just 3 or 4 days, maybe a little bit more, of burning. So I am probably not treating this delicate and semi-dangerous tool with the tender, loving care that it calls for and maybe deserves. But I like what I'm getting out of it. So the stuff that I'm getting to make is very interesting to me. So I'm going to keep going, but I have to recognize that I'm really risking having to replace this thing if what I'm doing is just totally overloading it or clogging it up. Yeah, but I'm learning how to clean better as I go too. Hopefully that'll help. This is the 2.0 hex, and maybe if I say it out loud a couple times, that will help me remember that. Alright, gonna put these on a magnet so that I hopefully can find them when I'm ready to put it back together. Oh, sorry, I'm messing up the focus, aren't I? Okay. Yeah, this is all it takes to be able to take the outer housing off. And that is, I can actually probably put that in a pool of alcohol or whatever cleaning solution I end up using regularly. But the rest of it will have to be pretty carefully done by hand. Let's get the wide shot here. It is kind of caked together. Alright, I was going to show how to take it apart, but I'm going to have to actually figure it out here. Now, normally, a normal person would take all this stuff off, and I may end up having to do that, but so far I've just been able to keep all the hoses and everything connected to keep it simple. But in order to get this apart, I may have to take all that off. We'll see. I will not be able to finish this before I have to go to this appointment. But, and it's occurring to me, this is not a great way to feel like I'm being super productive and off to a great start on a Monday morning. So it'd be much better if this were done as an end of week thing, preferably on a Friday afternoon when a normal person would be starting to wind down. That would be a much better idea. this should just slide off. It is so caked. And I don't want to rush it either because I'll break something or drop something. So I don't know if I can get this down in there enough. I've been calling it creosote. I guess that's what it is. But you know, this, you'd think this pallet wood would be pretty crusty dry, but that's not always the case. Still got a lot of juice in it somehow. Yeah, I'm not really accomplishing much there, I don't think. Okay. Well, these are some of the things I'm trying, and I'll come back in a bit, hopefully, and show what finally worked. When I was in high school, I worked for a farmer briefly that called a hammer a micro switch adjuster. Now, what could be less advisable than taking a piece of complex electrical machinery and hitting it with a hammer? But that did actually work. These light taps did actually work to get this thing moving. So I think I'm going to be able to get the housing off, although I don't know if you can see all the gunk that's fallen out of it. I think I'm finding out that this is going to have to be an everyday thing, not just once every couple of weeks, because this is bad. Wow. Yeah, I don't, let's see if we can get a little light in there. Yeah, no wonder it was stuck together, right? I hope everybody's had their breakfast or whatever already, because that is not very appetizing. And it needs to be cleaned. Now, this is all, except for this little shield area here, which is, I don't think, going to be affected negatively by the alcohol. This is all pretty much metal, except for the stickers. And so I think I can literally just dip this or let it soak, and that should clean it up pretty well. But this is a different deal here. That's going to take some real work, careful work, because I don't know what I might be messing up. All right, well, I'm glad that at least it's open now. I think there is a very good chance that I am on the verge of totally running this thing. I don't know if you can see down in these heat diffusers, I'm thinking it's probably what they are under the fan, so incredibly coated with crud. I see some connectors. There's some screws that are holding it in, some bolts, and I see some here, but I don't know if I can take this off or not, and I don't think I can get it clean unless I do. So I think it's time for me to do some checking online. I mean, I can buy another one if I have to, I suppose, but I can't go through one every month. Wow, that is amazing. And even with soaking it in alcohol and a Scotch-Brite, this is not really getting clean. I mean, there's still a bunch of buildup I just can't seem to get off right now. And there's a bunch of little remnants of the Scotch-Brite and cotton swabs that does not need to be getting into the system either. So it's got to not only be cleaned, but it's got to be dried, and then any little leftover debris needs to be cleaned out too. So this is a much bigger project than I thought it was going to be. Good It's all good if I can learn how to make it right. But what I'm doing so far is not working. Well, it's not working enough. Oh my. When I started, my question was, is this going to work again in the future if I start cleaning this up and mess something up? And my question changed in the process to, how in the world was this thing still working? Great day. I mean, there are chunks that I have gotten out of this thing. I've got a long way to go, and I'm really trying to not mess anything up. I don't know if I can, you can see, yeah, right in here. See, those cooling fins are covered, and this is what I've been breaking out up and down, and it's got to be on both sides, and I still haven't gotten the fan clean yet, but it was all caked in on these fins. So boy, it's a good thing I'm finally doing this, and I like I said, I have no idea how it was still working. It looks so gunked up to me that I would not have been surprised if it had just totally melted down. So gonna keep going. I guess I don't want to use acetone on this stuff. I want to use the rubbing alcohol, but it's not getting it off very well. So, and if I take this fan off, I'm sure I'll break it. So I'm looking at a bunch of videos while I'm doing this, but mostly I'm getting the level of debris that I have gotten out of this is ridiculous. Obviously, this needed to be done very, very badly. Well, we look at this and probably say, wow, my goodness, it'd probably be good if you cleaned that up. Yeah, that is the one I have cleaned up. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. That's the one I need to clean yet. Oh, wow. But I do feel positive about the results I'm getting so far. I got this little scraper tool that has been proved to be useful to this point in helping me get into the grooves and kind of see how it's working there. And the buildup in these, right on these edges, is intense. So I'm able now, without trying to take it all apart, which I was sure would not only completely void the warranty if I haven't voided it already, but I would likely mess it up. So this is helping get the crud off the edges, and that usually means like a big section. And then it does look like it's dumping out pretty well. And I've got a little air blower that I'm going to use to make sure that I've gotten as much out of it as possible. But this just gives you an idea of what we're looking at, and it's gross. So pardon me, I hope you're not right before or after a meal when you're seeing this, but you can get a sense of what's involved. And man, oh man, I should not have let it go this long. I feel really kind of guilty about that, actually. This is gummy. It's not completely dry, or it's a little sticky, so it doesn't want to just flake off. But this is interesting. It really builds up on the inside of the fan blade, kind of like you can see with a house fan or something. Sometimes it gets a lot of dust that's kind of sticky on the edges, and these blades are actually somewhat smaller than they look because of all the buildup on them. And yep, see, there's a big chunk. Well, there we go. So there is a lot to get off, and I'm doing this now in hopes that when I hook it back up, it will still work. So what I'm doing right now is either ruining it or giving it a little longer life than it would have had if I just pretended there was nothing to do and just ignored it. I cannot find, and if anybody knows and can suggest a channel, I cannot find a channel that focuses on cleaning the interior of these this kind of laser. So I'm going to keep looking, but a lot of them just have like some fairly basic external stuff. Look at that chunk, that big flake. Let's see if we can get that out. Yeah. Wow, and that's not all of it. Yeah, I'm sure it's really smart to be banging around this finely tuned electronic equipment, but it's better than the chunks staying inside, I think. So anyway, that's probably enough to show you for now. I was thinking at one point, well, I'm not really doing anything that could be like making money today. Maybe that's bad, but then again, I think if I had to buy this component to replace it, I think it's about $400. So I can think of myself as not making much money today, or I can think of myself as being up 400 if I was on the verge of a meltdown or something. So I'm going to go with that for now. Thanks for watching. I'm going to admit to getting a little bit ahead of myself here in a way. I've put the laser back in. it's so obviously used. I mean, I cannot get some of that creosote stain off of it. It's hilarious. The bars seem to be all right. Now I'm running into the same problem I had when I first installed this, that some of these bars are just a hair too long. Well, longer than the others. And so I have to pick and choose to find the ones that'll fit in the slot that I'm on. And I know, when I say I'm getting a little ahead of myself, I know that I really need to clean the fan, the exhaust fan up here. But what I'm going to do is try to burn a couple things and check on these new designs I'm working on. And in the process then, at the end of the day, when I'm winding down, I intend to take the fan off and let it soak overnight so that I can put it back in tomorrow. That wants to go a little long too. So I can put it back in tomorrow, and it should be much easier to clean after sitting overnight. I've gone through a fair bit of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol today. Yeah, gotta be careful how I say that. And I think it works. I just heard acetone. I mentioned that earlier. I just heard acetone on a video I was watching. I would not have thought of it myself. It seemed a little too caustic to me. But, you know, maybe it's okay. So I may get some acetone to try out too. Now, if these two don't fit, it's going to take me a little while to find. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick and choose a bit. I'll leave that out of the video for your sake, and I really want to try a couple of these new designs. And I need to burn some business cards because I cannot find the ones that I cut. Doggone it. Yeah, still blessed and grateful, but a little frustrated with myself at times. Well, what was I saying about probably needing to have cleaned the exhaust fan? It's not running. I hope I haven't burned it up. I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna run a few files, and then I'm going to follow the plan that I had, which is disassemble the exhaust fan setup and let it soak overnight, and see if once it dries out, if it'll run. Actually, if it doesn't, these are pretty basic like computer exhaust fan type things. I think it could be pretty easily replaced and not too expensive. So anyway, the smoke's just pouring out, but I'm only going to run files for another hour or so, and I think I can get through the day and then see if it'll clean up and run again. Wait a minute. There I was whining about the fan. You know, whatever. Maybe it can be fixed. I think it can. When I wasn't taking time to say thank you, Lord, that the laser is working, and I put the settings back a little bit for this type of wood. Probably put them a little too low, so I'm probably gonna have to run a second pass over it. But it's working. So, how blessed am I for that? That is fantastic. And so I learned a lot, and I will be trying to not let the grunge get quite as grungy in future. Let's see if I live up to that goal. But as it stands now, the thing is working, and it's doing just fine. And maybe the exhaust fan can work again someday. And if not that, I'll rig something up. It's manageable. Well, here is the real fan that was no longer working. And here is the lame little backup fan that I put outside at the opening of the exhaust tube to try and draw stuff through. And boy, I got a bunch of crud in it. It kind of worked. And now I'm going to try to take the fan out and see if I can't let it soak and maybe work tomorrow. I was able to get some business cards cut, although this wood has such variation of density of the grain that it doesn't come out evenly. So I'm not sure how great they are, but they're I've got a few now, and I got to remember where I put them so I can hand them out if somebody asks for one. And here's something I'm working on for my dad that will probably be a Christmas present, and so I'm not going to show it right now. But it is an improved design that turned out very nicely, I think, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of these, although each of them potentially will be a custom saying. A quote, a verse, a song lyric, something, and potentially a custom memento on the back. So each one should be unique, but they're kind of be in a series. And what's kind of cool, this is actually a bamboo cutting board from Dollar Tree, and I don't think I could buy these any cheaper, and it really cut well. So I look forward to showing this another time, but just the back, you can see that it did real well, even without the fan going. Anyway, after I get the fan out and soaking, I'm going to call it a night. It's been quite a long day and very interesting day. Yes, this is as bad as I was afraid, and maybe worse. That is a pretty thick coating inside there. Changes the diameter of the tube a little bit, and this should do better just by soaking, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in for the night. And I think I'll do the same here. We'll just let that set, and kind of like with vinegar, maybe if I just throw the metal, the rest of the metal, this thing is the honeycomb grid is metal too. If I just throw the metal in, maybe it'll clean up overnight, or else it'll eat it alive. We'll see. But now I'm going to spend a little time cleaning this out like I did the other, and hope. Wow. I don't think it's melted the wires, but like I said, this is a fairly simple fan to replace, probably. It may be proprietary, but I think probably that's going to be a kind of a normal thing. Okay, let's clean this up and get myself off to a night's sleep so we can start again tomorrow. It's Tuesday morning and nice and chilly and calm outside, and in here the isopropyl alcohol has been working overnight. This has cleaned it some and hopefully loosened it up so that I'm going to be able to scrape the rest of it clean. I'm going to see what I can do with the fan, and then I want to test that out before I reinstall it, and once I find out if it's working or not, I'm going to try to get some more burns going. Hope you're having a great day. This is actually working even better than maybe I thought it might. This looked pretty much exactly like this, and this cleans up pretty easily since it's been in that soak. So yeah, I was on the verge of thinking I'm gonna have to use some acetone and all that, and maybe not. These don't even have to be that clean, but it's nice to see that it works that way. Now, got really gummy in here, so let me try and improve the light. But it's actually flaking off pretty well, so I went and got an old toothbrush. I'm going to see if that... Oh yeah, that helps finish that off pretty easily. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the exhaust port is like that too. So the last of this, I think I can just kind of scrape the stuff, that the residue that's really sticking to it, but that has actually cleaned that out pretty well. Boy, it'll be fun if this thing does start working again. It'd be really fun to know that, well, okay, it's going to get gunked up, and then maybe you can fix it. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Lord. The fan is working again. Oh, wow. What a blessing. Okay, let's put this thing... Oh, it's so pretty. It's so nice. Okay. Actually, I want to see this direction. I'd like to put this back in the right way. Yeah, that's the right way. Okay, good. Very interested in this, looking through the red screen, through the smoke, and from a distance with a challenge of focus because of all these different layers to penetrate. Look how clear this burn is compared to the one that I did yesterday. Like, these letters are a little bit hard to read. This is the same wood, just a little bit further down on the board that I cut off, and this is much more clear. So I did change the settings slightly. I slowed it down a little bit and left the power where it was, and that must be what's making a difference. I like to think that the cleaning has improved the quality as well. Getting lots of views is not the goal, really, not right now. Maybe if I get better at this, but I did get a lot more cutting done. thanks to that cleanup. Hope you have a great week, and thanks for watching.